Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I hope y'all are doing well today. So today we're going to be doing a chit chat, get ready with me, and we're going to be talking about aging in the beauty community and the beauty of getting older. I think a lot of times we focus on things like how to look younger, how to be more youthful, and we're always talking about the unpleasantries that we go through as we get older. So I kind of want to talk about the flip side of that, focus on like the good that comes along with getting older every year, but also talk about like why is there kind of like a stigma on the whole idea of aging in the beauty community and how we can maybe like change our mindset to think about aging as more of a positive thing because it's a natural thing, you know? So if you're here for the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is SonyaNicole and I usually post makeup content about 2 times a week, including some content for makeup lovers who are 40 and over, aka the grown and gorgeous crew. So if that sounds interesting to you, please make sure you subscribe while you're here. I would love to have you join. And if you're part of the grown and gorgeous crew, make sure you hashtag me in the comments. Okay, you guys, let's jump right into it. So I told y'all in my last video that my family was dealing with coronavirus. So just to give you an update on that, everybody is pretty much back to normal. We're all doing great over here. We are still under quarantine for a few more days, but everybody is symptom free and we're doing just fine. So thank you so much for all of your well wishes on my last video. I really do appreciate it and we are doing just fine over here. Okay, so now let's get to the topic at hand, and I'm just gonna have the products that I'm using flash up on the screen like I normally do. So apparently when we turn 30 years old, a lot of us start like really feeling kind of like old at age 30. Like we go through this little like, I don't know, this mini midlife crisis where we feel like, you know, we start questioning what have we done with our lives so far. I meant to put a little bit of concealer on underneath my foundation. I forgot. But anyway, when we turn 30, we start kind of questioning like, you know, what have we done with our lives so far? We start feeling like we got to get our act together because we're grown up now. And we just start feeling like, I guess we kind of start really feeling like adults when we turn 30 years old. So I kind of went through that when I was like maybe 32, but it was really short-lived for me because I remember when I turned 35, that's when like I really started feeling like, okay, I'm an adult now, like I'm mature, I've lived, I'm at the prime of my life, and it's like really time to like, you know, get my act together because I'm 35 years old. But 35-ish, that's also around the time when I really started like getting into makeup. So the very first time that I put makeup on my face, I think I was like 32, but then like maybe 34, 35 years old, that's when I kind of really started like watching tutorials on YouTube and like trying to follow along and like really started trying to, you know, really get skilled with makeup. And it really didn't take me long at all to realize that a lot of the people that I was watching on YouTube, they were a lot younger than me. And back then, like I knew a little bit about makeup because like before I started watching videos, like I was already, you know, like dabbling in makeup. I was already wearing makeup at that time, but I was kind of like just stuck with the products that I knew. I didn't know about this whole like big world of makeup that was out there. All I really knew back then was like MAC, and that was pretty much it. But back then I still didn't know like too much about makeup. So I just didn't know things like, you know, putting makeup on like 35-year-old skin was a little different than putting makeup on like 20-year-old skin. So I knew like, you know, as you get older, you experience changes with your skin. But I guess just like in terms of makeup, I wasn't really like thinking about it in terms of putting makeup on. So there were like people more in my age group, like the mid 30s and older. There were content creators out there doing makeup tutorials when I started getting into YouTube, but I just didn't know that they existed. And I'm sure that was mainly because they were never suggested to me, and there aren't too many out there to begin with, at least compared to like younger people who are putting out makeup videos. So, you know, I was just learning from the people that I was coming across on YouTube, and they just happened to be, you know, younger than me. Now, I did learn a lot lot from them, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of like say if you have a sibling and y'all are like, you know, maybe 10 or 15 years apart, or maybe even 5 years apart. I mean, y'all might get along with each other. Yeah, you can, you know, you have some of the same interests, but then in a lot of areas, y'all are just going to naturally like not roll in the same circle, or you're going to have a lot of different interests too, because it's like a generational thing. Like generationally, you guys are different. So I'll give you an example with me and my sister. So we're only 6 years apart from each other, but let me know in the comments if you guys watch Cobra Kai on Netflix, because when Cobra Kai first came out, I was telling her about it and she had absolutely no interest in watching this show, and I'm like, well, didn't you watch The Karate Kid? And she was like, no, like I never saw the original one. And she swears up and down that the Karate Kid movie with Hilary Swank, I think it's called The Next Karate Kid, she swears that like that is like the best Karate Kid movie out there, and I'm like, girl, no. So, but it's like a generational thing. Like when the one with Hilary Swank came out, that was like more her time, whereas, you know, my generation, we grew up on like Danny LaRusso and Tommy Lawrence and, you know, like the original Karate Kid. So like the Cobra Kai show on Netflix is like something that we can relate to because that's what we grew up on. So when you relate that to like watching YouTube videos, tutorial videos, like yes, I can sit there and learn from someone who's younger than me or from someone who's older than me, but it takes the experience to like another level when I'm learning from you, but I can also relate to you like on a personal level, you know, like if I throw in a reference from, like for instance, I watched like A Different World. My sister did not watch A Different World growing up, but like if I threw in a reference from that show, it's like the experience is better if you can pick up on the reference, you know what I mean? I'm gonna do my brows off camera real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so aside from me like not even knowing that maybe I wasn't really learning how to apply makeup in a way that was best for me at the time because I didn't have, you know, 20-year-old skin anymore, I was also kind of missing that like personal touch, I guess, because I wasn't able to learn from people that were, you know, like more my age. And, you know, there are like some people out there, like I said, doing makeup content that was more my age. I just, you know, I didn't know that they existed at the time. I also didn't know like too much about like, I guess I just wasn't thinking about doing like more specific searches back then too, because at one point I did start searching for stuff like makeup tutorials for women over 35, but I just wasn't thinking to do that like when I first started trying to follow along with tutorials. So yeah, I didn't know that people in my age group were out there, you know, doing makeup videos. And that's just, you know, focusing on YouTube. But even when you think about like makeup and beauty commercials or like, you know, maybe advertisements that you see like in magazines, like there just aren't a whole lot of older people in those types of advertisements. And that kind of leads to another point, in that when you do see older people in like makeup or beauty related ads, the ads are always about like anti-aging, like how to reverse the signs of aging. And I'm wondering like, why is anti-aging like even a thing when it's natural? Like it's a natural part of life. It's something that we naturally go through as human beings. And we tend to treat aging like it's something to fear, and it really does have like a negative connotation on it nowadays. I mean, I feel like in some ways it's gotten better, but I mean, definitely aging is looked at as something that's like bad, you know, but it's a natural part of life. Now, I know like on a psychological level, we probably think to ourselves, like when we think about aging, we think like the older we are, the closer we are to death. And I know that's kind of morbid, but that's probably, you know, something that we think about. And yes, that is true, I guess, but I think we kind of like ended up selling this false idea that looking younger is actually going to reverse the aging process. And my issue with that is, number one, that's just not going to happen. Like we can do certain things with our skin from, you know, of course, types of skincare that we use, the way that we do our makeup, down to like, you know, even getting cosmetic procedures done that are gonna help us look younger, but we're still going to age. Like it's still gonna happen. But we really shouldn't want to reverse that process anyway, because getting older is a good thing. Like aging, it's a good thing. And I think also, instead of like promoting ideas of like, you know, looking younger, I think that we should instead be promoting ideas behind like having healthier skin, because having younger looking skin and having healthy skin, they are not the same thing. Like you can have healthy skin at any age. So let me know in the comments, and there's no right or wrong answer. Like we're just, you know, having a conversation, but let me know like if you are like 40 and older, if you're in that age group, or even if you're like in your 30s, like when you do your makeup, do you try to look younger? Are you concerned about looking younger? Do you want to look, you know, 10 years younger than what you are? Is there some sort of benefit in that for you? Like, this is just my personal opinion, because like I said, there's no right or wrong answer to it. But me personally, like, I don't want to look like I'm in my 20s or 30s anymore, because I'm not. Like, I want to look my age. I want to be okay with looking whatever age I am at the time. But you know what though? What does an age look like? Because now that I'm saying that, I'm thinking to myself, like what does 30 years old look like? What does 40 years old look like? A lot of people say to me that they don't think that I look like I'm 40, and I take that as a compliment because I get what they're saying. But at the same time, you know, maybe, I don't know, should I be like borderline offended by that? Like my mom, she just turned 72 last week, and I don't think that my mom looks like she's in her 70s. But again, like what does 70 look like, you know? Like, I don't know. I get what people are saying, because I say that about my mom all the time, that she looks younger than what she is. But you know, maybe that is kind of offensive to say that to somebody, because you know, what's wrong with, first of all, what does 70 look like? And regardless of what conclusion we come to on that, there's nothing wrong with looking like that, right? I'm just throwing out some ideas out there, that's all. But really, I think instead of promoting ideas like how to look younger, how to look 10 years younger, or you know, how to have more youthful looking skin, I do think maybe we should be promoting ideas more so around, you know, how to have healthier skin, and to an extent keep age out of the conversation. And I say to an extent only because I'm thinking like some of the things that you may have to do at say like age 50 or 60 to maintain healthier skin is probably different than someone who's trying to maintain healthy skin at like age 20. So I'm saying just to an extent keep age out of that conversation. But I think it's better for us to promote the idea of not being so caught up in always trying to look younger than what we are, but more so let's embrace the aging process and teach people that it's okay to get older, because that's a good thing. You're living life if you're getting older. I think we should stop looking at certain changes that our skin goes through as we get older. We should stop looking at them as like imperfections. Like, you know, why can't we look at somebody's smile lines and be like, oh, that must be a really happy person because look at her smile lines. Like, I don't understand why we look at, you know, wrinkles and maybe like sagging skin as like an imperfection when it's something that's going to naturally happen, you know, as we get older. So keep in mind, just so that I can make sure that we're on the same page here, I am referring to those natural changes that are supposed to happen to us in our skin at a certain point in our lives as we get older. So I'm not referring to, I guess, like premature aging or things that we may end up going through with our skin, I guess, sooner than we should be going through them because we're living like an unhealthy lifestyle. I'm not referring to that. I'm referring to those natural changes that are supposed to happen when they're supposed to happen. I finished my eyeshadow off camera because for some reason I just can't like talk and focus on blending at the same time. So I did most of that off camera. But the older you are, the older you continue to get, you'll realize that you'll be more experienced in a lot of ways. You're just going to keep experiencing different things, and a lot of that you're going to end up being thankful for, like even the bad experiences, because hopefully they will turn into learning experiences for you. The older you are, you know, the wiser we get as we continue to get older. That's why a lot of people refer to wrinkles as wisdom lines, because they just signify that you're getting older, you're getting wiser, you're more experienced in many ways. And those physical changes that come along with getting older, they really should be celebrated, because they're just confirmations that you are living life. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to be easy and that, you know, everything is just going to be a breeze as you continue to get older, but, you know, the older you are, the more life you will have lived, you know? I think in terms of like age inclusivity in the beauty community, like on social media, I think that has to start with embracing aging more, because I feel like if we had like a positive outlook on getting older and aging, that it'll just come natural to us to be more age inclusive in terms of like having, you know, older people on social media doing like makeup videos, or, you know, seeing more mature people in advertisements for makeup, because I feel like there's some brands out there that, I'm not saying that they do it on purpose, but there's some brands out there that just come across as like, it's clear that they kind of like cater to a younger crowd. And I just think a lot of that stems from just this whole like negative idea behind the whole aging process. And I think we've gotten to the point where like some people think that, you know, older people don't even wear makeup, or older people should not wear makeup, so we're just not catered to, you know what I mean? But I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't think anybody's like having those thoughts on purpose. I just think it's a matter of like how society has grown, or I should say not grown in that area. So as a result of that, that's just, you know, how we naturally think. Okay, I did my mascara and eyeliner off camera because there's no way that I can talk and put those on at the same time. So I'm just going to finish up with my lipstick. But I just wanted to finish the conversation by saying that I think it's really important, no matter what age you are, to really live in the moment and just really enjoy your life at every stage as much as possible. So I think that we should be preparing for the future as much as we can. Hold on, I gotta finish doing this before I finish talking. Okay, so like I was saying, I think that we should prepare for the future as much as we possibly can, but I also think we should live in the moment as much as we possibly can. And don't fear getting older, no matter how old you are right now. Just think about like all of the positive things that comes along with getting another year older every year. Like, I just think it's a blessing to be able to say that every year. And like I said earlier, when I hit age 35, like I don't really know like what exactly it was that changed that made me want to start being more positive about getting older. But like now I look forward to it every year. I just feel so blessed to be able to say that I'm another year older. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many good things. There's a lot of beautiful things about aging, and I really think we as a beauty community should be embracing that. A lot of people say that the beauty community is like one of the ugliest communities out there, and this is a part of like looking at that beauty from within more so from without, because that's where it starts, you know. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you think that there is already enough age inclusivity when it comes to makeup and beauty on social media, or do you think things are like more catered to a younger crowd? And if you think that, why is that? Like, where did this whole idea of aging being a bad thing, like, you know, where did it come from, you know? So I hope that y'all enjoy the conversation. Every time I do one of these videos, I feel like I ramble, so I hope I was making sense, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave today, and I hope to see y'all back here for my next video. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.